Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dietrich, and today we're going to do one of my world-famous fuel economy tests, but this one is going to be a little bit different. We are in my 2012 Mercedes S65 AMG, and this is much less controlled than my normal fuel economy test. This is a pure road trip fuel economy test. So today, I'm going to drive from Orange County to South Lake Tahoe, which is probably going to end up being like 470, 480 miles based on the route that I'm taking, and it's a lot of uphill. I just filled the car up and made sure that the tire pressure set at about 45 inside of the gas cap. It says set to 40 if you're going to go under 100 and set to 50 if you're going to go over 100. So I split the difference. I'm not going to be going any set controlled speed. Just going to be going how fast I can go or how fast I feel like going, and we'll see what it does. This thing has a mammoth 23.8 gallon fuel tank, and it is rated at 19 miles per gallon highway. I did do my sort of controlled test where I try to get as good a fuel economy as it can get out of a car. And this one only managed like 19 and change when I did that. It beat its EPA rating, but only by a little bit. So we'll see what it gets up to in a less controlled environment. And I'll have an update for you shortly. All right, first little pit stop. I've been on the road for a little over an hour. I've covered 69 miles, average 65 miles per hour. Apparently, we're getting 17.6 miles per gallon. We've almost burned a quarter of a tank of fuel, but that was going up the Cajon Pass, so a lot of uphill. We're going to keep on going and keep on going uphill for this leg of the journey. All right, we are stopped in Bishop at Mahogany Smoked Meats to pick up some sandwiches to go. If you're ever in Bishop, California, you 100% need to get some sandwiches from that place. We have traveled 284 miles, average speed of 62 miles per hour. Apparently we're averaging 18.5 miles per gallon. I've got about a third of a tank left, and I'm going to continue venturing north on that third of a tank and probably get to, let's see, 154. I think I can get to Lee Vining. It's more uphill. You can see we're at 4,100 feet now. We are going to continue increasing that number. So anyway, I'm going to get back on the road and say goodbye to Mahogany Meats for now. I will be back, and we'll see how we do. All right, I have filled it up. I actually made it to Bridgeport, which is a little bit further north than Lee Vining, which was my original goal there, but no matter. So we have done 370 miles. The car thinks it's getting 18.5 miles per gallon. It took a whopping 19.699 gallons of fuel at $7 a gallon, Bubba. And so what that means is we actually averaged 18.782 miles per gallon, which is kind of crazy because that's maybe only 1 mile per gallon less than the controlled test that I did. And if we go over here and we look at our position, we're at 6,300 feet right now, and we've been as high as 7,000. So one thing I think, the V12, because it has so much power, if I have the cruise set to like 70 and it's going flat, it's at about 2,000 RPMs. If we start going uphill, it doesn't downshift because it doesn't need to. So the uphill maybe doesn't bother this car so much. I don't know. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to reset this, and then I'm going to continue my trip to Tahoe. I'll be there for a couple of days, and then I'll fill it up before I leave Tahoe and see how we do driving back, going downhill. So I'll be right back with you after about 4 days of my life, but 1 second of yours. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's a few days later. We are at the Chevron station in Myers, California. If you know, you know. So we did 127 miles, and this was a lot of uphill going over like a 9,200 foot pass, and also driving around town in South Lake Tahoe a little bit. So we went 127 miles. It thinks it averaged 17.2 miles per gallon. It took 7.442 gallons of fuel, which means we averaged 17.06. I'm all excited because I'm about to get on the road again, which is not bad. It's 0.15 miles per gallon, basically off of what it thought it got. And, you know, there was some in-town driving there. It was a lot of uphill, so that's pretty good. So what we're going to do now is reset this. We just filled up, and we are going to go we're going to go a bit uphill at first and then a lot of downhill. So let's see how far we can make it on one tank in the old S65. Okay, we just cleared Monitor Pass. We are in Mono County. And so we were pretty solidly uphill the whole way so far. We've gone 38 miles. We're averaging 17.4 miles per gallon at an average speed of 48 miles an hour. I have to say I have found myself not really caning it on that drive. I've kind of just taking it easy, being a little bit nostalgic. Got Warren Zevon live from Boulder 92 on the hi-fi system. To quote Lana Del Rey, I'm in my feelings a little bit, but we are going to head southbound and down. It's pretty much all downhill from here. So we will see how we're doing. I'll have an update for you soon. All right, quick update. We are at Mahogany Smoked Meats in Bishop, California. We've gone 180 miles at an average of 53 miles per hour. I've been taking my time. I took the June Lake Scenic Loop, and we're averaging 20.2 miles per gallon. And let's see, the car thinks it can go another 355 miles, which might be enough to take me home. I'm expecting the average speed to increase and possibly the average mile per gallon as I go along, because it is going to be more downhill from here on out. Let's see, let's have a look. Where does it think we are? Compass. 4,100 feet. So yeah, we're going to be going down. So anyway, I'm going to pick up some sandwiches and then continue on, and we'll see how we do. All right, we have reached what I call the whoop-de-doos on the 395. This is where you go up a little hill and down a little hill, and it's very fun and exciting, although very dangerous to pass, but we're not in the passing business right now. We're in the gas mileage business. We're down to just about a quarter of a tank in the old S65. We're apparently getting 19.8 miles per gallon. It says I'm averaging 58 miles per hour, and I will take its word for it, although the last couple hours have definitely been much quicker than that. So anyway, I think I'm going to try to make it down into San Bernardino proper. That would get us down the Cajon Pass, but still covering quite a few miles. So let's see how we do. That's the goal. I'm going to try to fill up at the Chevron right by the Bass Pro Shop that I used to buy a shit ton of ammo at. Let's go. All right, I am currently in Adelanto, which is the land of limitless opportunity if you're a meth dealer. And my reserve fuel light has just come on. I have 74 miles of range, but I am going to try to make it down the Cajon Pass, which is downhill, and to a specific Chevron station, as I mentioned before. Wish me luck. I think we can do this. So one of my favorite little quirks and features on this car is when its projected fuel range gets below whatever it wants to tell you, it just shows you a picture of an S-Class next to a gas pump. Ja, Dummkopf, mach schnell mit einer Benzin, ja. So I'm 21 miles from the gas station I'm trying to get to, and I'm going to try to get to it, baby. Let's go. All right, here we go. We made it. We covered 425 miles today. Apparently averaged 57 miles per hour. It felt faster than that, although maybe not. I have been on the road for 7 hours and 32 minutes. 19.8 is the indicated average mile per gallon from the Mercedes. It took 20.682 gallons of fuel, which means we actually averaged 20.549 miles per gallon. So we broke 20 miles per gallon, mostly downhill and not really going that fast. So not so impressive. But anyway, I really did enjoy the drive today in my old V12. And this may be the last time I ever put gasoline in this car, because I'm planning on getting rid of it. But I've loved it while I've had it. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. If you've ever wondered what it's like to pass on a 2-lane road when you're driving a twin-turbo V12, I'm going to give you a brief demonstration of it. You put your foot to the floor. something miles an hour.